I'd like to start out the afternoon, as you probably all know, those of us who have been in adult ed for some time, this truly is a changing landscape in adult education. I've been in adult education since 1970, and I have never seen the changes that we're experiencing over the past 2 or 3 years. It's really unprecedented in adult education. So for those of you that are new, this isn't typical. This isn't the way things, have been, but it is the way things are. And we need to look at the landscape and then look at how we're going to move forward together to make adult education the best that it can be. So I'd like to share with you some of my thoughts on the changing landscape. To me, one focus that has not been there in the past, that is there front and center now, is the transition to post-secondary education training in the workforce. In the past, we have focused on serving adults at whatever their level and whatever their need to come into adult education, and to place that adult in an ESL, ABE, ASC program where they need to be in order to, unquote, profit from instruction and move along toward their goal. The shift has been that there's a very laser focus, I would call it a laser focus vision on the fact that these adults come into our program in order to reach a goal, and that goal needs to include some post-secondary education training, or they're coming in order to get a job, to get a better job, to get training, to get a job. And our job in adult education is not just their time in adult ed, but looking at their goal, helping plan the transition and supporting that transition to post-secondary education and training. That's the shift. It used to be the goal was get a GED, get a high school diploma, go on into post-secondary, whatever. Now it's shifted that part of our responsibility is to ensure that there's a seamless transition into post-secondary education, training, and the workforce. The second shift that is fairly historic in the United States is the agreement on a common core of content standards. That has been also unprecedented. Over the past 30 to 40 years, education has been a states' rights issue, not a national overview. So for 46 states to agree on a common core of standards is really unprecedented, and it will affect adult education, whether you're in a state where it's a K-12 delivery or a community college delivery, or you're under the auspices of the Department of Labor or other entity. It will impact all of us. The focus on career pathways and certification. This is not new. It's been around for a long time, but there's a renewed focus on it, and I think the key here is pathways. We've focused before on career and technical education. We've focused on getting adults into apprenticeship programs. But the focus, the new focus on career pathways that extend all the way down into the lower levels of ABE and ESL is something new. To say that, no, we're not going to wait for this ABE or this ESL student to arrive at an advanced level in order to then go into whatever, a linear approach. It's much more looking at what are effective models to move our adults efficiently, effectively, and cost-effectively to their next steps. And that involves working with our partners in vocational career technical education, the WIBs, the one-stops, but it really requires a collaboration of the partners that we talk about, and many times there's a lot of rhetoric, but it's not actually happening boots on the ground, so to speak. And much more into the future, it will be, because we can't get there without our partners. The increasing use of technology. This is all interrelated. We also can't help transition adults into post-secondary education and training, do it effectively, incorporating the Common Core standards, create pathways without effectively using technology. We have an increased use of distance learning. We have an increased use of blended learning. And the blended learning is helping our adults when they leave the classroom to reinforce what they've learned in the classroom, to move them forward faster, more efficiently. Videotaping classroom lectures and lessons so that our adults can review them. There's just all sorts of connections now with technology. And going forward, that won't stop. It'll just increasingly will become more and more involved in technology. A challenge, I think, for all of us is many of our instructors and staff feel uncomfortable with the technology. So it's not just a challenge to incorporate it into the delivery of effective instruction and assessment and career pathways, but the professional development that's going to be needed in order to accomplish this is critical. It's absolutely critical, or it's not going to happen. And new integrated delivery models, I mentioned this up with the transitions. We're not going to get there without looking at integrated delivery models. We can't do it without our partners. So, and it doesn't happen overnight. It happens person by person, relationship by relationship, becoming trusting of our partners and getting them to know us and what we do and what our skill set is in adult education in order to partner better. We are also planning ahead for a new assessment series. It's going to incorporate a lot of these elements that I just talked about. It's going to rely on technology. When we talk about what is assessment going to look like in the year 2015, 16, and 17, it's hard to imagine that we would be still paper-based. What we are looking at is the use of technology for computer-delivered assessment, and that would be all the way down to beginning ABE, beginning ESL, utilizing technology, utilizing touchscreen technology on computers. But going forward, that looks like where we need to be. We also will be incorporating the Common Core standards. We will be ensuring at the top ends, at the D level, that there is a smooth transition to post-secondary. So we will be focusing on the content standards and primarily college and career readiness standards, so that that transition to post-secondary education and training will be smooth, that they will have the skills they need to transition. We're going to expand the National External Diploma Program and the Workforce Skills Certification System to provide options for high school diploma and workforce certification. Our focus is on assessment, research, and resources to support quality assessment and also to inform best practices. We do a really good job in terms of ensuring that the assessment is proper, that we're doing pre and post testing, that we're turning in the scores, but I'm not sure that we have done a really good job of using the results to better inform instruction. How much time do we spend with our instructors saying, here's how you use the test results, here's how you can inform instruction, here's how you can measure what's working and what's not working in classrooms and in programs using data. Focus on technology. We are going to streamline the assessment and reporting with computer and web-based systems. That's where we're headed for 2015-16. And we want to continue to focus on professional development to support you in providing quality professional development, all focused on student success. Why are we doing professional development if not to promote student success? How do we evaluate our professional development? Are we getting there in terms of student success? And what's working and what's not working? And programs that seem to be lagging behind, by providing additional professional development, what type of professional development is going to work to help those programs help their students? So this is the changing landscape. This is the era that we're in, and with limited resources. So it's not just the cliche, gee, we've got to work, smarter and harder. But we really do need to look at the landscape, and we do really need to look at what resources do we have available and how can we use them more strategically.